All right, test, test, test. Hello from Brooklyn. Congratulations, Jamie. I'm so happy to celebrate the launch of your book in this way. It feels extra special actually because of the pandemic. So thank you for holding this space and holding us together with your words and your heart and humor and tenderness and bravery and insight, all of those things and more. I actually just want to open with a poem that feels appropriate from Tracy K. Smith's Life on Mars. She has been doing this amazing Slow Down show, which is a podcast you can find if you're not aware of it, which is so generous, just reading other poets' work with beautiful personal commentary. So here we are. The universe is a house party. The universe is expanding. Look, postcards and panties, bottles with lipstick on the rim, orphan socks and napkins dried into knots. Quickly, wordlessly, all of it whisked into file, with radio waves from a generation ago, drifting to the edge of what doesn't end. Like the air inside a balloon. Is it bright? Will our eyes crimp shut? Is it molten, atomic, a conflagration of suns? It sounds like the kind of party your neighbors forget to invite you to. Bass throbbing through walls and everyone thudding around drunk on the roof. We grind lenses to an impossible strength, point them toward the future, and dream of beings we'll welcome with indefatigable hospitality. How marvelous you've come! We won't flinch. At the pinprick mouths, the nubbin limbs will rise. Gracile, robust. Mi casa es su casa. Never more sincere. Seeing us, they'll know exactly what we mean. Of course, it's ours. If it's anyone's, it's ours. All right, let's get this party started. I'm also just thinking on, like about a year, more than a year ago now, we launched Kamon's book together at the Ace. That was so fun and so magical. And I just want to bring that back into this space as well. I miss you all. All right, let's see what we got. Just reading from Invasive Species. The new work is coming, but here we are with the old. Relatively. Afro-Arab Cento. I was born a black woman, and now I am become a Palestinian. June Jordan. They know mine. I am all of them. They are all of me. The same head knows where all the children went when we couldn't hold it. It doesn't matter how long you stay if you never leave. The trouble with living like thinking is feeling is it's not arranging all those grains of sand in our blood. Race is not biology. It is guess the question, dream the answer. Reality show. This shit's funny right now. I mean, listen, it's always been funny, but it's funnier now. I have a very dark sense of humor, forgive me. Reality show. Prisoner swap. Al-Azhar's next top fatwa. The Great Batlawa Baking Show. Fear Factory. Meet your dystopian date. Weapons deal or no weapons deal. Name that war. Sanction this. Amazing race for clean water. So you think you can poetry. Survivor, post-deportation edition. Ha. This is poem for the beings who arrived. If you ask me where I come from, I have to converse with broken wings. This is a line, and all love is agreement, each day of living, an agree or a disagree. And love is not what we think it is, what we have been told it is. Agree or disagree. I am telling you how to read me. Neruda wrote, if you ask me where I come from, I have to converse with broken things, with the beings who arrived, who had the glasses of the heart. We are the beings who arrived because we had the glasses of the heart. We are the broken beings who arrived with glass for hearts. Poetry is instrument, allows us to see through thought. Thank you for saying my work does not sound like it is in translation. Thank you for not saying my work sounds like it is in translation. We are all the proof I need as singularity approaches us. They ask with intrigue, how did you construct your blackness in America? Each question requires a reconstruction, and I am always never constructed. In Egypt, they ask, do they hate us? I pretend not to know who they mean by they, what they mean by hate, but I know because I live with they, and ain't they? Ain't they? We have to stop pretending we are not capable of winning, and I know you know we know, when I dip, you dip, we dip. This one goes out to all the women in the world. You see me everywhere I go. They want to know which one I am and more of. Still, you see me. The mask I wear is not Leo rising, but the colonizers falling. And still, you see me. And when I say you see me, what I mean is you feel me. We, the beings who arrive. In the first world, people arrive at cubicles in a rage. At day's end, they punch bags hanging from the ceiling, fight their reflections in the mirror, sprint on padded treadmills, while a cop sleeps outside in a car, its engine running. Poem for Brad, who wants me to write about the pyramids. So it begins with this, ironically, the footnote has to begin it when it's read aloud. So treat it as epigraph. Some days past, I have found a curious confirmation of the fact that what is truly native can and often does dispense with local color. I found this confirmation in Gibbon's Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire. Gibbon observes that in the Arabian book par excellence, in the Quran, there are no camels. I believe if there were any doubt as to the authenticity of the Quran, this absence of camels would be sufficient to prove it is an Arabian work. It was written by Muhammad, and Muhammad, as an Arab, had no reason to know that camels were especially Arabian. For him, they were a part of reality. He had no reason to emphasize them. On the other hand, the first thing a falsifier, a tourist, an Arab nationalist would do is have a surefit of camels, caravans of camels on every page. But Muhammad, as an Arab, was unconcerned. He knew he could be an Arab without camels. I think we Argentines can emulate Muhammad, can believe in the possibility of being Argentine without abounding in local color. Jorge Luis Borges, the Argentine writer and tradition. So Brad. He says the substance is lacking a center, a traditional plot. Says I miss where I'm from and I set flashbacks while I walk around San Francisco. He wants to know what makes my story so much more interesting and provocative than others. Says Egypt is a wonderfully exciting place. He's told by others. He does not like my scenes of policemen and sunflower seeds. Says he has heard the pyramids are very interesting, wants to see more of Egypt in my writing. This is where the poets will interject. They will say, show, don't tell. but that assumes most people can see. And I bet most of you thought Brad was white, but Brad is not, but Brad is hot, so the class lets him get away with being dull. But I understand that what Brad means is he wants to see camels and more of his own ideas of Egypt in my work. And this is how this poem becomes its own genius annotation. See, what Brad missed is that I didn't give up my spot in med school for this, and if Brad had read, he wouldn't have missed the generous foreshadowing, would have seen I was saying my country has become a police state. And when I say my country, I mean both of them. The poets will say this poem is trash, but I don't care. My mother says if you want to know what the future of the world looks like, then look to Egypt, and let every poem I write be a response to the cumulus cloud of aggression that follows me, and let every word work to reverse the effect of the slow meting out of systematic violence. Let every letter represent a human standing in protest.